It's funny sometimes to me that I think that what I have to say is valuable or important enough that I should record it and share it. And it's sometimes difficult for me to admit that that might actually be true. Most of the time, you know. So the question I have to ask myself is, what is there about my experience that I don't know or understand that keeps me stuck here like this? And then as I ask that question for myself, I do what I need to do, which is what you need to do too, and that is I allow the question to be answered and I allow myself to receive that answer. So don't ask rhetorical questions to the universe anymore. Ask the question and be willing and open to receive the answer. And when it comes, take it in and allow the truth of that to shift your experience of who you are and set you free. Now, I keep saying that it's only your choice that is required, and yet, are we only pretending to choose? How much in surrender do we have to be? Is it something that approaches the absolute surrender, where there's nothing left of me or I? And if that's what it requires, is that still what we want? Do we want to be set free by our personal realization of our own universal truth, whatever that is in reality, whatever those possibilities were for us when we came here? Are we still willing to open up to those and realize them in our experience of ourself, no matter how badly we've chosen up until this moment? And if you're willing to say yes and then willing to experience the results of an awakening from a dark, dark place, and the shock to our ego that we weren't all that, we weren't the right one, we weren't the right version of us. We didn't come here and accomplish what we came here to be. And so as we take a look at that, then we have to say, does everything we've done up until this moment, does that prevent us from ever being free here? Is there an eternal damnation in the temporal reality of the life of me and you? It only seems to be. It only appears to be. It can only be seen as that. But if you open up to realize exactly what's true, then exactly what isn't quite right will be taken out of the running for having any control over how you express yourself here, how you experience yourself to be. You no longer have to allow yourself the experience of being suppressed and beaten. And surrender, that's what you let go. You let go of your decisions to lose, to fail, to die, and to hope that you're destroyed so that you don't have to experience yourself anymore. So that one's way below suicide when you're considering how to destroy yourself eternally. So if that's where you're coming, I mean, it doesn't get much worse that I could conceive of than that. So if whatever you're going to wake up in, whatever your darkness is less than that, then count yourself lucky and face yourself for who and what you've been here. Look at it. It's what you created. It's not you, it's a creation, it's a story, it was a role in a play of life. But can the play of life turn from a tragedy into a comic, divine freedom of expression for us all? I'd like to think so. And so what am I willing to give up for that, to experience that myself? That's what you have to ask yourself. If it's everything that's less than that, then, you're pretty close to the recipe for freedom. Let it all go. And experience a divine release. Divine redemption. A divine realization. You've got nothing better to do. Allow the divine to be real in you. If you're a Christian, look within and find the kingdom of God, like you were told to. If you're Muslim, then God bless you. May you open into knowing the love, the unconditional love of God. May you know that you are free, and that you're whole, and that you're moving into a completion, one where all the imbalances will be balanced, and all the justice will have been done. Doesn't require you being the hand of destruction, if that's your inclination. No, what you are required of is to awaken, to remember, to be one, to be whole, to be complete within yourself. That's what we all need, each one of us, to be free from superstition, to be free from the stories of others being more important than our experience here and now of ourselves and our friends and families. It's not how you conduct yourself here determines how the divine is present here. Is it present conscious or unconscious? Creative or destructive? Freeing things or damning them? You choose our reality here. You choose how we experience you. Choose to be free. Choose to be divine to me, so that my experience of you is that. Don't just hold on to that idea for yourself. Require for yourself that experience. Just say, yes, that's it, me, I'm in. I'll let go of everything less than that. And then do. You're not obligated to hold on to anything less than divine freedom. So feel your limitations, your pains, your suffering, your suppression, your intent of self-destruction. Give it a good one last good loving until it transcends itself and departs this reality as something that causes you concern and seems to limit you. As you choose to awaken, your obstacles will disappear. Or they'll get a whole lot bigger. It depends on how you choose to experience the reality. Are you willing to allow reality to change with you? As you allow yourself to be changed by universal wholeness, you allow everyone else to be changed as well. Do you welcome the change of your enemy? Do you welcome the movement of your enemy into an awakening and self-realization such that the enemy is saved, the enemy is free, the enemy is whole, and the enemy is not our enemy anymore? When you're redeemed, when you're whole, when you're wholesome, when you're purely you, there's no destructive limitation left for you to hold on to. As a way to define and justify the rightness of yourself, you'll just know. You don't need to be right mentally and egoically. You need to be right within your experience of yourself so completely that you can't see anything other than the righteousness of others. And you cherish your experiences with others because they're transformative for you and for them. Can you allow yourself to move in that experience right now? Try it. Remember this as the moment that you woke up again, became yourself. Know that you chose to know yourself truly again once more. Notice that you are infinitely more than your lifetime experiences of this and any other lifetime. There's nothing here that can hold you back when the universal is at home within you. Where universal truth is experienced by yourself within the experience of yourself. And when there's so much in you, like there's so much in me, that wants to shut that down, wants to hide in the darkness, and wants to be dense and confused and numb. That's what we're letting go of, you and I both. We're letting go of the seeds that create a competitive reality that results in the destruction of us all. Where we all fall, where we all fail, where we all fall short, and experience any kind of wholeness as who we are. Not as a goal, not as a theory, not as a story, but as a realized truth of self that is who you are here, and what your experience is. So when are you ready for that? Feel it, know it, open to it. Then choose a comfortable way to let it be more and more in each moment. More and more awareness, compassion, kindness, grace. More freedom in your experience of yourself. More appreciation of the miracle of your own life. Allow your life to awaken into the miraculous nature that it already is. Awaken into a divine self-realization, actualization, a remembering of the truth that sets you free. What's it like to let go of you, to let go of yourself, to allow that which defines you to dissolve, that which defines you to yourself, and that which defines you to others? Just feel how suppressive it all is. And then remember that you're here to know the truth. You're here to know. You're here to be free. So know what you need to know in order for you to be free here, for you to awaken, for you to understand, and for you to easily realize a nature of yourself that's beyond comprehension until you are it again. Then you know it's you, and you experience that it is you. That which everyone has ever strived for spiritually is something that you natively and naturally are. All you have to do is move your attention onto that and notice that that's true. Look at it until you know yourself well enough to know that that is true. So it's quite a big question. How much do you allow yourself to open here? How much do you allow yourself to know? How free are you willing to allow yourself to be normal? Or are you going to push the limits Are you going to define a new standard? Are you going to blossom until everyone can see your beauty? Why not that for you? And why not that for each other? It's time to be over with your sadness, with your disappointments, with your depression. It was all justified from the point of view that you had, so it doesn't matter. But when you move from a point of view of severe limitation into a realization and experience of an awakened state of self that's worthy of being called wise, if not enlightened, just make the shift, the transition's right there for you. Just allow you to be becoming to yourself. Allow you to be a blessing to you. Allow yourself to be comfortable with an enlightened understanding of life. And that is an experience of yourself. Experiencing yourself as an enlightened understanding of life. Not talking about an effective one. I'm not talking about a justified or a right one that celebrates the wrongness in everyone else. I'm talking about the one that knows the truth and moves with it and experiences life as a state of grace. That's what you can awaken into. And that's what we have to choose to experience. We have to allow ourselves to move from who we are, from what we are, from what our experience of life has been. We have to allow that shell to crack. We have to allow for transmutation, a dissolving, a shedding and a burning off of all confusions, all lies, all limiting thoughts and emotions. So we can breathe freely here. So we can open up and say, what do we want to experience in our lives? And then do that. Shouldn't that be the result of our life, the fulfillment of our wishes for it? And if that's what we got, would any one of us wish for the destruction of others when we could freely have what we want as our experience of ourselves? No. On this path, you don't have to worry about becoming powerful and then evilly destroying the universe. It's not going to happen that way. No matter how dark and evil someone gets, they never can bring themselves to destroying it all, to turning off the light and forever being in the dark again. The divine will allow itself to go pretty far, to be, almost universally, completely dark. And then it begins to open and realize in a big bang of, oh yes, allows God to be free again. And your big bang is open to being heard by everybody around you. Be the best you, be the best one, be at least as good as everybody knows that you can be. And then be better than that. Know within the experience of your own heart that your awakening is needed and wanted here. That is not just a blessing for you, it's a blessing for all of us. everyone that knows an awakened friend is blessed by the association. Be that friend to us. Move with a grace and a kindness and a love that everything you touch is freer as a result. Isn't that why you came here? Isn't that who the truth of you is, that you came here to be? The one who's right with the world. And the world is right with you. Experience the worldwide rightness of you. A rightness that stems from a universal knowing. Not a limited point of view, but all points of view known within your experience of yourself. So there's no part of it that you're blocked from knowing or experiencing or having. And so if you want to blossom, the space is yours. The sun shines on you for that. Look up at the sun and blossom. Give gratitude to the universe and say, you've set me free here, thank you. This now will be an interesting life. So can that happen for you? I hope so. I hope it happens for me. I know if it happens for you, it'll happen for me, because you'll take pity and come and see me and say, hey, remember, it's like this. And then I'll come home too. Don't be afraid to be the first one you know that opens your heart universally, feels unconditional love for the whole, for all of us, all life, all manifestations, all beings, all of us. Open to knowing the love that loves us all as the truth of your experience of you. So I have to do it myself, I talk way over my head, over what I experience. And I'm doing that because I'm hoping that there's somebody a few levels above me that can take something from what I say and further their own path of awakening so that they're right with themselves and right with the world. So that we all are. Isn't that the open borders that we want? The one where no one is limited? Where everyone is free? Now, how does that move into our world as a practical philosophy, because is it fair to take from those who learned the expertise and put in the work and delivered what was needed and got the result, and so they have what they have. So how do we move from you not doing that and wanting that for yourself and the taking away of that from others to have it so that you can enjoy some of it? the love that you have for helping the downtrodden and finding a way for everyone to win. That only seems to be at odds with the conservative Protestant hard work ethic that, more often than not results in that person doing well financially. So are you awakened if you are condemning the industrious and the disciplined? Is that awakened? No. And is an unwillingness to understand what causes other people to say, I'm not going to work, I'm not contributing to this society, I'm in rebellion of everything about this? No, neither one. They're looking to the other side. And so you're both at your worst, knowing the rightness of your point of view and the wrongness of the other. So that's where we are. We're both right about our rightness, and we're both wrong about the other. Because we'll all awaken when we choose to be, and when we are, then anything that happened before that doesn't matter, because that's not who you are anymore. You fulfilled all condemnations, all obligations by awakening, by realization, by being at home with the truth that would set us free if we opened into it. So once you do that, you're free of all obligations to a lower state of consciousness than that. There's nothing to hold you back, because we'll all let the person go that makes it, that transcends. And it's not because we're gracious or know anything, it's just simply that when we experience grace, we can't help but admire it, and in that mad admiration, we can't take any destructive act towards it. So be admirable. Be willing to have others experience you as an admirable person.